up.
Good morning. On your screen is a live view of Posideon Heavy awaiting its second ever flight test from the Kerbal Space Center. This is the second flight test of Posideon Heavy, the space system's largest and most powerful launch vehicle to date. We are currently at T-minus 9 minutes and 35 seconds in counting, tracking towards our second ever flight test. Everything is looking good at this time, and we are excited to proceed with today's mission. Over to you, Blue.
So welcome, good afternoon from Perth Tracking Station. On your screen is Posideon Heavy, as it waits for its second ever flight test from the Kerbal Space Center pads. Hello, this is Blue Aerospace here. I'll be hosting for today's mission. So our objective is to reach a geostable orbit, and we are basically ready for today's flight. We are just waiting for the countdown and preps to finish. Over to you, All Things Space 3.
Alright, we're at T-minus 9 minutes to go to the launch of Posideon Heavy. Currently, we are tracking no weather issues. The weather is beautiful, as you can see right here. It's a clear sunny day. Also, as you can see at the vehicle is starting to get a bit cooler. This is because we are loading super chilled propellants into the tanks. The first stage uses both stages use RP1 kerosene and liquid oxygen, which is our oxidizer, because in order to have oxygen space to support combustion, we have to bring our own. Currently, the team is tracking no major issues. Earlier in the countdown, we cleared the pad at about 5 hours ahead of our on-time liftoff, which is currently tracking towards 7 p.m. Australian Central Standard Time. We are T-minus 8 minutes 30 seconds away from Posideon Heavy Flight 2. Back over to you, Blue Aerospace.
Yeah, so we are going to light this candle in about 30 seconds from now. So today, in this flight test, this is our second one actually, and you see those burnt cores over here, those burnt side booster cores. Those have been reused, so they have been flown like a few times actually, supporting both the Poseidon 9 launches for the last previous launches, like the 12 Eagle Eye Sats, and you can see in the center that the core booster is actually has no landing legs or grid fins. So in this one here, you can see like basically it's white, and we can reuse it, and everything appears to look good, and we shall be able to go, and we shall exceed for today's mission. And you can see that fairing on the top part that is really round. It is to protect the rocket from the stressful aero forces through maximum aerodynamic pressure when that happens in another couple of minutes, or actually more than a couple of minutes actually. Yeah, over to you at ATS 33.
Thank you. Thank you, Blue. Currently we're at T minus 7.5 minutes. At this time, vehicle is preparing. At the time, the ground systems are preparing for liftoff. At T minus 7 minutes, at T minus 3 minutes we'll retract the strong back, allowing once we light up the engines and lift off, we'll be able to clear the pad and go to orb space. We are currently at T minus 7 minutes 15 to the Poseidon Heavy Demo Flight 2. Everything continuing to look good. As you can see at the top of the vehicle, you can see that big bubble showing. That contains two of our satellites that are made in-house that we will send as a sacrifice
Booster
to the...
center core. Engine chill has started.
Yeah, as you can hear from that call out, we are beginning our engine chill ahead of today's liftoff. We are at T minus 7 minutes, just passing through that mark right now. As you can see, this is going to be our crew launch pad in a few months. We are planning to launch Leviathan 2 to orbit from here. And back over to you, Blue Aerospace.
Yes, so on the looking by at the UI or the stuff on the bottom, or the good stuff, we have the countdown for today's mission. Once it reaches around zero, all powerful 27 engines will light, lifting Poseidon 2 towards its objective, which is to reach a geostationary stable orbit around Kerbin. And the fuel has basically started to load up and is pretty much fit for today's launch. So you can probably tell by the vapor is we've started the LOX loading, the fuel loading. So LOX and RP1, or liquid oxygen and kerosene, are propellants which are very cold at cryogenic temperatures, like minus 300 degrees Celsius, and that is like really cold. But the reason why it's cold is that it needs to propel our very thirsty rocket engines, which are actually called the Curlin 9 engines,
Yep.
which is why we need these to fly our rocket to orbit to basically make commercial space industry available for everyone to come buy space systems. Over to you, ATS 33.
Alright, currently at T minus 6 minutes. We are preparing for launch currently. Everything continuing to look good. Vehicle is looking good at this time. We are currently tracking no issues for liftoff. We have we're about to retract the strong back in about 2 minutes at T minus 4 minutes, and we are currently performing the final checks of all of the systems. We're going to have a grid fin test in a minute, so let's zoom in and see that. Right. This is a grid fin deployment test, testing our grid fin's deployment. We can see the grid fins tilting. Those will allow Poseidon Heavy to tilt itself and land back on land. This is how the vehicle will...
Stage 1 RP1 load is complete.
And as you can see now, we are retracting those grid fins in preparations for liftoff. We'll now get a landing gear test.
The landing gear somehow is what we need to basically touch down and land on the pads of the
Grid fins
KSC, and
retracted.
up there's those grid fins retracting right there. This is basically used to guide our boosters back towards our landing pads, and we got those grid fins, not grid fins, sorry, landing legs have basically retracted, and we are pretty much fit for launch. And we have our final no go launch poll for today's flight. We have Bruv Legion being our missions call-out specialist. We have ATS 33, which is basically our commentary and flight operations leader, and I am Blue Aerospace 236 for the main commentary, which you are listening to right now. And I hope you guys are really hyped for this exciting moment. And for the first flight, this is bigger than the second flight, by the way. The first flight met a few failures, like the engines having some major issues, and we failed to get the vehicle towards orbit. But the rocket, however, has been checked, and we have no mistakes going through today's mission. However, however, the vehicle has had some major upgrades, making the engines more powerful and have thicker legs to grow towards space. That sounds weird. But anyway, we have the rocket on the launch pad. So basically, we have 27 engines because 9 times 3 on the first two core stages, and then a Curlin vacuum engine seated on the top for the second stage. This will propel or do most of the job kicking for the orbital missions, and this will basically place our payloads in low carbon orbit or around there, and we shall.
Strung back retraction underway. Strung back retraction complete. T
There you can
minus 3
see right
minutes
there
50.
on the strong back. You can see by the strong back has moved backwards. This will be for like the crew access arm for future missions. There so we'll be basically using this for future missions, for crewed Leviathan missions, which ATS spoke about earlier, which will carry crew and everything.
T minus 3
But
minutes
today
30.
for the boosters, however, we the middle booster, which is the really sort of whitish one, this is expandable. So we won't be attempting a landing test for this. Instead, we'll be letting this gracefully fly into the ocean
At about a
because
speed
it'll
of Mach
be
1.
expendable and we don't need it. Yeah.
FMRS is
Over to your
armed.
things.
FMRS is armed. We are T minus 3 minutes away from the Poseidon Heavy Flight 2 liftoff. Everything continuing to look good at this time. We are seeing all engines are lit. All engines are chilling down in preparation for flight. Yeah, as you can see from these camera views, you can see the Poseidon 9 rocket sitting on a pad, bit sideways there.
Stage 1 LOX load is complete.
As you can hear from that call
There
out
you can
by
see the
Bruv,
fuel.
the fuel load
The
has
fuel.
complete on the
Yeah.
stage 1. Coming up in stage 2, fuel load complete at about 2 minutes.
There we
Stage
go.
1 LOX load top up has started.
And
There we go. We have some more fuel. We have some onboard footage from the launch tower, which will provide us valuable data for future space systems missions of the Poseidon 9 and Heavy missions. So those camera views right there are on board from the rockets. So you can see that those grid fins right there and a couple of separators, which is all
grid
planned
fin
for today's
testing too.
mission. So up the grid fin testing has commenced, and we have all the avionics in the system is good. All the rockets, the rocket propulsion systems, and the avionics on board is looking green and healthy for today's mission. Over to you, ATS 33.
Thank you, Blue. Currently at T minus 2 minutes, everything's continuing to look good for an on-time liftoff. Currently, we are seeing that all of the engines are chilled down in preparation for liftoff. We're now about to show you some cool footage of some cool tracking footage the cool tracking cam that we'll get footage from during today's flight. At T minus 1 minute 50 seconds, this is Poseidon Heavy Control at T minus 1 minute 50. Everything's looking good at this time.
Final phono go poll for Flight 2 of Poseidon Heavy.
Yeah, there we go. We have that.
Hydraulics.
Go.
Yeah, we have that no-go goal,
Stage
no-go
1.
for today's
Go.
mission. Our no-go
Stage
poll,
2.
which will
Go.
basically tell the team is ready for mission.
Ground systems.
Go.
Payload.
Go.
Launch directors go for launch.
At T minus
Yep,
1 minute
as you can see
25,
there.
everything looking good at launch at this time. Currently, we are preparing to lift off at about 10 seconds. The deluge will activate, eventually throwing up to full power at T minus 2, and ignition at T minus 1, with liftoff shortly after at T minus plus 1 second. Currently, everything continues to look good at this time. Vehicle is looking good,
LOX load top off is complete.
and
Vehicle is
There
in
Steve,
startup.
we have the fuel has been loaded up for the vehicle,
Poseidon
which
Heavy is
is
in startup.
very nominal right there. So we have the water deluge system is actually what is used for to cool
Pressurizing
down.
tanks for flight.
Very good news there, informing us that the systems are go. So basically, like I said earlier, that water deluge will be basically used to cool down the launch pad because it gets very hot from those rocket plumes, which are like a few million degrees
T minus 40
Celsius.
seconds. Flight
Not that
director is go
many.
for flight.
Good news there, telling us that the flight director for the mission is very go for launch, and we shall be able to go for today's mission. Over to
T
you,
minus 30
AK-33.
seconds. Alright, at this time, I'll take you through for the final moments and countdown. Thank you for listening, and we wish for a good flight. 20 seconds away.
There we go, here we go. I'm so hyped.
15,
9, 8,
6, 5, 4, has started.
T minus 10, 9, 8,
9,
9,
7,
8, 7, 6,
6,
5,
5,
4,
4,
3,
here we go.
2, ignition. Lift
The
off.
engines have the engines have lit, and we can feel the rumble. Oh man, I'm shaking off my roof, and my jaw is falling off from the rumble. We have basically liftoff by now.
I don't know what happened there. It just died. Right, I'm just gonna do some troubleshooting. Stand by.
You can hear that nothing. This is something that always happens at space systems, and we have acquisition of signal of the vehicle.
Alright, just give me a minute.
We have our IT department happening, so yeah, we need to get the thing to work again. So just getting some troubleshooting fixed.
Alright, T minus 40 seconds and holding until the lift off of Poseidon Heavy, hopefully, if all goes well. And
Yeah, we
we
just
can
had a
fix
little
the
stuff
minor
there.
issues we've experienced.
Hold, hold, hold.
Now, this appears to be a nominal situation. This is not a nominal situation, and we can see right here that the vehicle is still on the pad. We have stopped the engines, but we will try again.
RP1 LOX load top off has started.
We can hold
They're
it for up
telling
to
us there
15
that
minutes.
Alright,
Alright, we're about 2 minutes away again.
we shall try again, and hopefully we can get Poseidon Heavy into orbit.
For a second for the first time, if all goes well. One thing
Yeah.
we always have at space systems is minor delays due to technical difficulties. So basically, OBS hates me.
Yeah. So basically, we can stop the countdown, and
Alright,
we can do
T minus
for
1 minute
safety
40
check.
seconds in counting. We are proceeding with the count.
There's we are proceeding. Yeah, looks like we have started proceeding with the launch countdown of Poseidon Heavy Flight 2, and hopefully this one makes it a bit more better, and hopefully we don't have any scuff ups or
Let's go.
grubs or anything nasty.
1 minute 30.
WTA here.
Let's try this again.
Yeah, let's just try this again for today's mission. And appears that the countdown has resumed. This is all nominal for rocket
T minus
launches.
1 minute. Poseidon Heavy is in startup.
Here we are go for startup. looks like that with the vehicle
One sec, I'm just gonna
has
silence y'all quickly. I'll unmute you after liftoff. Alright. Come on, it's 50 seconds and counting. Proceeding with the count. Flight directors go for flight. Come on, 40 seconds. Just quickly, just
30.
I'll do counting, alright? $20 seconds. 15. 10.
Deluge.
9. 8. 7. 6, 5. 4. 3. 2. Ignition. 1. 0. Plus 1, and we have liftoff.
Okay, looks like we have a liftoff of the Poseidon Heavy vehicle. The vehicle is up. Finally, the vehicle should be looking good from the skies and the tracking cameras at Perth tracking station.
Vehicle is in
And we
pitch
have
over.
Yep, as you can see, that vehicle has started to pitch over, which means it will start to go from vertical to horizontal mode, but it will go to to a nice low orbit direction on the dialogue. So we have a successful liftoff of Poseidon Heavy.
Plus 23. 1 kilometer in altitude.
Okay, looks like we are getting through the upper parts of the atmosphere. We're going through the thicker parts of the atmosphere, which means there will be less stress when we get to space on the fairings and rocket
Avionics, parent telemetry nominal.
Good news there, informing us that the avionics or the computer telemetry parts are basically green and are healthy for the flight. They are
Plus 40.
up and running hard.
180 meters per second. 3 kilometers in altitude. Vehicle continuing to look nominal in nominal flight path.
Yep, the good news there, flight path is on target. These engines are very bright. You might need to get some sunglasses. I need to pick my jaw up from the floor because these views from the tracking are just stunning. These are live views from tracking from the Poseidon Heavy vehicle, Flight 2. We are basically flying above the atmosphere. You can basically tell or see by the bottom avionics on the bottom.
As you can see here, we are now getting some WB-50 tracking footage at the moment. This is much better camera quality and much closer to the vehicle as it heads uphill. Stage 2 powered
There we got the tracking.
telemetry nominal.
You can see the burn marks on the vehicle as we go through the upper parts of the atmosphere.
Max Q.
Engine chamber pressures nominal.
Good news there that the chamber in the rockets. Yeah, so the chamber in the rockets are
First,
good.
about some other rocket, not this one.
Ignore that. So we have that big fairing there protecting us from. We have the big fairing protecting us from the stressful aerodynamic forces of Max Q, which should.
Now coming up on side boost engine cutoff in just under a minute from now, at an altitude of 50,000 meters. We'll shut down the first stage rockets, and then the stages will do some FMRS trickery when we finish getting into orbit. and fly back for landing in on the ground around the Kerbal Space Center.
Yeah, so
Getting some nice.
once the
Oh, that
booster,
plume's expanding neatly. Look at that plume expansion. Whew!
so
Hot.
there's basically will be less there'll be less air in space, so that means like
Match
everything
cute.
that is
No,
orbited
wait, shoot. Alright.
by the atmospheres
Booster
by the
engine
upper
cut off.
atmosphere. There we
Side
go. We
booster
have a booster
separation
engine.
confirmed.
We have side booster separation, which means the side boosters will
Boost back startup.
there we go. We have the boost backs
The boost pack
initiated
doesn't
for
start
these.
until a bit longer, because funny.
Oh,
Because of Mars trickery.
here we go. We got successful. We have successful views. We shall be getting very good views in a second. Some live views on board from the vehicle. Everything appearing nominal. We're trying to use our very reliable Curlin 9 engines.
Then a core throttle up.
There we go, we have the engines throttling up to max power on the center core, which is the expandable one, which will basically be ditched after separating from the second stage.
Stage 1 FTS is saved. Everything continuing to look good. Nominal there.
So everything appears to look good, and we can see the curvature of the Kerbin, which tells us that Kerbin is not flat, or Earth is not flat, looking by the map views. And we can see our orbital trajectory line looking very nominal there, which means we should be getting basically on our way to space. And once we pass through space,
Center core
we,
staying up, confirmed.
there we go, good news there.
Boosters are following a normal trajectory.
Core throttle down underway. Stage separation confirmed.
Alright there, we got that vacuum engine exposed. We are going to
Ignition.
ignite that. Yep, there we go. We have the ignition of the second stage engines, or engine rather. Sorry. We will. This will basically carry us on our way to space and establish a safe round orbit around Kerbin. Good news there of that really hot
Fairing set
engine
confirmed.
bell. Here we go. We got that fairing separated from the second stage, top stage, because there's no air in space. So we will basically no longer need that fairing. That fairing will basically be useless towards spaceflight for now. And we got exposed. We have some exposed footage of the satellites in low Kerbin orbit, almost. This is still suborbital, meaning that we can still fall back.
Stage 2 FTS is saved.
Good news there, meaning that the flight termination systems, or the FTS,
In a minute,
is
yeah.
basically disabled.
Oh no, I will. Seco 1. We are now in a coast race to our apogee, then we'll fire up the engines again, pushing ourselves into an orbit. Then after that, we'll coast for a little bit longer to perigee, then we'll light up the engines again and send ourselves to GTO. Now coasting.
And also, when we get to our apoapsis or our apogee, sorry, we'll basically like we'll coast there and we'll wait for a second engine relight, which will basically stretch the bottom of our orbit or where the perigee is, and now we'll extend that so we can get into
Oh
a
wait,
nice perfect.
oh wait. Jumping back to the side cores now.
There we go. We have lost onboard footage of the vehicle, but this is nominal. This is because we are going back to the side
I'm just
cores,
gonna
which
go
will
just to the wait screen now. Just put some music on
yeah
while we wait.
will be with you in a minute.
Just for that, I'm silent. Just for that, I'm silent. And acquisition of signal side boosters. Now I'm gonna perform the boost back burn for landing in the Gulf. Boost back burn start up.
Here we go. We have that boost back burn set up. Basically, this will plot our trajectory for a light landing in the landing pads or any place that is flat. Not like flat Earth. Sorry, not that. That's not flat.
And we have shut down. We have shut down on both cores. Now pitching up. There it is. Getting some nice onboard cams.
Make sure we get that onboard footage, which is still on the space systems loading screen, but we shall get acquisition of feed in a few moments from now.
sidecore's coming up in entry burn. That'll be in about 30, about 20 minutes. I mean, no, in about a minute or so. You're now getting ready for
Yeah,
land. Now we're about to fly back to the space center. Uh, Alright, let's just go up. Let's go one. We're splashing down into the water.
alrighty, we're just gonna make the booster go for a little swim, and we'll basically give the booster a nice recovery from the space systems.
My ass isn't landing both of them at once. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not gonna be able to do it. Unfortunately.
So did we lose both of them or one?
No, we're just gonna get one down for now. And we'll see which one we'll get down.
Also make sure you have the screen is still on, like the
But-
screen is still on space systems.
Pardon?
The space systems loading screen is still on.
Oh, shit.
We've been telling you that in the Discord chat.
Oh. Better? Give it a minute. And... Coming up in that landing man. That landing man's about to begin. There's that landing burn. The landing man's just begun.
You can see the water below. You can see the water below, and there's that landing burn. It's happening. Oh my gosh, it's happening. You can see the water. We can see the water for a very good swim right there. Kind of like my
Oh wait,
swimming
where's the
classes
second
I
one
do.
going? Oh! No way.
Landing burn is
No
started.
way I'm about to land both of them. No way. No way, holy shit. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Holy shit, man. Man. Oh man. Oh man. Nah.
We going in for land.
No. Oh. And we have
We have a
splashdown.
splashdown. Yes, we got a splashdown.
Booster landing confirmed.
We
That's
have
okay.
had
That's a
a
splash.
successful splashdown of one center core, one side core.
Side core,
The other one landed a bit hard, but it was a pain in the
It went
butt
smack.
landing it. Alright, back to main mission. Let someone just leave it up.
Back to me. There we go. Congratulations to the Space Systems team for successfully landing both boosters, even though one of them had a bit of a
Rougher than
brain
expected
fart
landing.
moment. Yeah, yeah. So we have that.
And now we're about
sadly
to
that
enter
happened.
our planned coast phase.
So this is when we go back to the main bit on the top, which is the second stage. Basically, the telemetry is the payload for today's mission, or second payload actually, because we have another satellite inside the payload fairing, which is what was deployed earlier on, which is the fairing.
slow. Yeah, there we go. Nice.
You can see that booster in orbit, and oh yes, so many people are liking the stream. So we basically are planning our orbital maneuver for Poseidon Heavy, and we shall begin to start our
Orbital insertion burn.
engine. Yeah, orbital
In just
insertion
under
burn.
4
Thank you.
minutes from now. Alright.
I have to make a recap of this after.
Yeah. Oh.
Anyway, so we
Wait, will the audio be mismatched?
pardon.
No, wait, because it's delayed. The audio is delayed with the stream, so it won't be mismatched.
Oh yeah.
Just follow
Yeah,
my
we're
lead.
literally having. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Now I can close the FMRS. And now put the close music on. Hope you have enjoyed today's flight.
Yeah. Space systems.
Alright. Coast phase underway. Yes. Yes,
Still getting some amazing onboard views of the vehicle.
Come up on the plan to relight of the second stage to put ourselves on a nominal orbit. This is in just under a minute from now. T-minus 49 seconds till burn for orbit.
Alrighty.
Wait, one sec. What's it, bruv? You might want to fix the UI because there's a bit sticking out of the side. The UI. Stop. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition.
Okay, we got our orbital insertion burn, making our orbit stretch out a bit more, which means we can stay in orbit without having to fall back and burn on a fiery re-entry.
I should have
Like
just
what
used
happened to a
MechJeb,
few-
shouldn't I? MechJeb would have made life a lot easier, I guess. MechJeb fixes this, I guess. Shut down.
Not Starlink, but yeah. There we go. We have a successful engine shutdown of the Curlin back engine.
Alright, now we're
Let's try
going
to see
back
he's
into
in
another
purple.
coast phase now.
So we'll just be coasting after this and then
I'm just gonna
letting the
change the OBS settings real quick. Just go.
see that engine casually moving,
There we
you
go.
know, just wiggling.
And there we go. Right. Not long now to burn to get ourselves on the correct trajectory to our geosynchronous orbit. T-minus 40 minutes seconds away from that. Getting now our beautiful engine cam. There we go. T-minus 30. T-minus 25. Ignition. And ignition. go and we're now coasting again. currently about to perform the second burn to get ourselves into our geostationary orbit. Moving to burn altitude. To ignition. Yeah, I'll get that in a minute. Everything's didn't look nominal this time. Ignore what I just said. Putting up on second engine cutoff. 2, 4 actually. Move second, throttling back. Coming up on payload deploy right now. Coming up on payload deploy 1. Payload 1 deployment confirmed. Payload 2 deployment confirmed. All the payloads have deployed for today's mission. Thank you for tuning in to today's webcast. I'm ATS33, signing off.